I'm Grace Pedota with the CSC, and welcome to another episode of Between Two Rocks at PDAC 2020. I am joined today by Laurie Clark for an impromptu interview. Laurie stopped by the booth, and Laurie, can you just tell the audience a little bit more about what you do?
Absolutely. Thank you, firstly, Grace, for inviting me along this impromptu discussion. I'm the CEO of the Smarten Institute that serves North America with compliance, technology, and knowledge delivery and credential management. And I'm also the founder and principal of Cancheck Corporation, another compliance technology that deals with finding out who the bad guys are, AML and terrorist financing. And we focus on the Canadian market for that.
Great. And so when you kind of stopped by the booth, you were mentioning ESG. And I'm just wondering, for our viewers that don't know what that is, first of all, what does ESG stand for? And then what is ESG?
ESG is an acronym, like many acronyms in the financial and mining community. We live by them. Environmental, sustainability, governance. And it comes from the root of ethical funding and ethical investing. Many years ago, we had always had a view that perhaps we had to start putting our money into areas of companies that were really concerned with the environment and sustainability and doing good works for our planet. And so this has become a much greater topic, and it has become larger and more focused. Yesterday, as we all know, there was a lot of protests here, just right here on Front Street. And so the question of climate change, the question of or rather the topic of climate change, the topic of sustainability when you're in a mining community, indigenous concerns, community relations when you're in a particular country that you have to, and you're doing some exploration perhaps or some mining. You have to take these considerations and topics a lot more seriously today, because the community of investors are making it a topic that is serious. If we do not address this, investment will not come your way. Investment dollars will dry up, especially for the juniors. Now, with larger corporations, they have the resources, both persons and financial, to be able to address community relations, to be able to go into a particular area of the world, and they can fund many wonderful endeavors. For junior companies, it's a little more challenging. They're not able to perhaps meet out all of the requirements that are necessary in order to make that as impactful for them. So what I am trying to put forward as an ESG expert is to understand that if they were to tell their story in a fundamental way by using software that can help them, because at the end of the day, I'm always a technology geek. And if they use software to tell their story, it would be beneficial to their storyline, it would be beneficial to their bottom line, and it would be beneficial to their shareholder value, because it would be very inexpensive to do it through a software that can tell the story, they can do their ESG reporting, and they can benefit from not spending so much money in order to, and be compliant. That is very important, to be compliant, because a lot of the companies here, you see yourself, there are so many in this lovely room, and they're not meeting their compliance and reporting obligations. And so I think, and I do have a solution. I won't discuss it today, but there is a solution out there, and I think if people are interested in learning more about how ESG can actually drive investment dollars to their bottom line, have them give me a call.
Okay. And also, just lastly, how can a new investor kind of find out if, and do the research to find out if a junior mining company or a mining company is working with ESG?
Then that's the challenge right there. You've just hit the nail on the head. Because of the fact that this is such a complex issue, and there are, for example, you have a mine that is operating. You have various mine sites all around the world. They have to report water consumption, water contamination, emissions. They have to also report on all third parties that they contract with. So they have to also report on emissions and water or whatever they are using, energy. There are so many questions that have to meet the standard bodies around the world and what they require, that for a junior or a small cap, it is very challenging. They would have to go to a consultancy firm and spend $100,000 to $250,000. They're not going to do that. That's just outlandish for them to spend that kind of money when they could put it into the ground to drill, to find something of sustainable that will actually make the company worth more value. So what they have to do is find something that is repeatable and consistent and easy on a subscription, say, basis, right? A software tool that'll help them so that it drives the information to their websites. Just like in the financial world that I have lived and breathed all my life, where you have reporting mechanisms that target back through APIs in a dynamic and real-time fashion. So you're in a trading world right here, and that happens every day. And so if we could mechanize that, where they have the information that sends it back to their websites on a scorecard that is dynamic and therefore can be updated on the fly, then all of a sudden the investor can look at your website and see in a transparent fashion what exactly is going on and how they can, and then they can evaluate whether they're going to invest in you. But it gives them a story, it gives them a reason to look at you a little more fundamentally.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing those insights with us today in Between Two Rocks. And we look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you very much, Grace. It was a pleasure.